There was a time when the smell of fresh-cut grass mixed with the sizzle of burgers on the backyard grill, when neighbors waved from porch swings and families gathered around the TV to watch I Love Lucy. The 1950s were a golden age of American optimism, and nowhere was that more clear than in the homes we built. These houses weren't just places to live. They were promises. Promises of comfort, of progress, of a better tomorrow. And inside, they were filled with quirks and comforts we don't see much anymore. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to uncover 10 forgotten home features only found in 1950s houses. So grab a glass of milk, settle into your favorite armchair, and let's step back into the past. The kitchen telephone. Back in the 1950s, the kitchen wasn't just for cooking. It was the heart of the home. And right there on the wall, often near the fridge or the back door, you find a little black rotary phone. Not a cell, not a cordless. This was a kitchen phone, specifically for chatting with neighbors, calling the grocer, or checking on the kids at the park. Moms would stir a pot of spaghetti with one hand and twist the phone cord around their finger with the other. It was practical. No running through the house to answer a call. And let's be honest, it was the original gossip hotline. But as phones became smaller, more mobile, and eventually wireless, the kitchen phone faded away. Today, it's a relic, like a rotary-dialed dinosaur in a smartphone world. But for a generation, it was the lifeline of home life. Built-in ironing boards. You won't find one in most homes today. But in the 50s, many kitchens had a secret, a fold-down ironing board tucked right into the wall. Usually between two cabinets, it popped out like magic, ready for crisp shirts and wrinkle-free tablecloths. It was a clever use of space in smaller homes, and it kept the ironing out of sight until it was needed. No dragging a heavy board from the basement or closet. Just flip it down, iron a few shirts, and tuck it away. As laundry rooms grew bigger and home life became less formal, the built-in ironing board lost its place. Today, it's a charming surprise when you find one in an old house, like a hidden message from a time when neatness really did matter. Pink, turquoise, and yellow bathrooms. Step into a 1950s bathroom, and you might think you'd walked into a candy shop. Pink tile walls, turquoise sinks, yellow toilets, yes, yellow toilets. These bold, cheerful colors were all the rage. After the dull, wartime years, Americans wanted joy. And what better place to splash on color than the bathroom? Manufacturers like Kohler and American Standard offered full sets in pastel shades, and homeowners loved them. But tastes changed. By the 1970s, beige and white took over. Today, a pink bathroom might make you chuckle or feel nostalgic. But back then it was modern. It was fresh. It was proof that life could be bright again. The Breakfast Nook. Before open concept kitchens, many 1950s homes had a cozy little corner just for morning meals. The Breakfast Nook, tucked into the kitchen or just off it. It usually had a small table built into the wall with cushioned benches on two sides. It was the perfect spot for toast and orange juice, for reading the paper, or for kids doing homework before school. It felt warm, intimate, like the kitchen was giving you a hug. As homes got bigger and dining rooms became fancier, the Breakfast Nook shrank from a staple to a rarity. But if you've ever sat in one, you know it wasn't just a place to eat. It was where the day began with a little love. The wall-mounted record player. Long before Bluetooth speakers and streaming, music came from a spinning disc. And in some 1950s homes, that disc played from a record player built right into the wall, usually in the living room or hallway. It looked like a fancy speaker grill, but behind a little door was a turntable. You'd slide in a 45 RPM single, maybe Elvis or Patsy Cline, and let the tunes fill the house. It was a sign of modern living, a gadget that said, "We've arrived." But as stereo systems became portable and technology moved fast, these wall units became obsolete. Now, they're a sweet surprise, like finding a time capsule doo-wop, and early rock and roll. The servant's bell system. In some larger 1950s homes, especially those built for wealthier families, you might find a small panel on the wall with labeled buttons. Kitchen, living room, dining room. Press 1, and a little bell would ring in another part of the house. No, most families didn't have servants. But the system stayed as a quirky holdover from earlier times, sometimes repurposed so Mom could call the kids for dinner. Ding! Supper's ready. It didn't last long. Telephones and intercoms did the job better. But for a brief moment, pressing a button to summon someone felt like living in a movie. Linoleum floors with terrazzo patterns. Walk into a 1950s kitchen, and your feet might have met a floor that looked like a checkerboard made of stars. Linoleum wasn't just plain back then. It came in wild patterns, flecks of color, geometric shapes, even designs that mimic expensive terrazzo stone. It was affordable, durable, and easy to clean, perfect for busy homes. And unlike today's obsession with hardwood, people proudly showed off their colorful kitchen floors. Over time, taste shifted. Vinyl became bland. Homes chased a more natural look. But if you ever see one of these retro floors under layers of dust, you're looking at a piece of postwar optimism, bright, bold, and full of life. The utility sink in the garage. The 1950s dad didn't just park his car in the garage. He worked in it. And right beside the lawnmower and tool bench, there was often a deep metal utility sink. This wasn't for washing dishes. This is where Dad scrubbed greasy hands, rinsed paintbrushes, or hosed down muddy gardening tools. It was tough, no nonsense, and built to last. As garages turned into storage spaces or home gyms, the utility sink became less common. But for a generation of tinkerers and fixers, it was a symbol of pride, proof that a man could make, mend, and clean it all in one place. The hidden mother's helper door. Here's one you probably never heard of: the mother's helper. In some 1950s kitchens, there was a small, low doorway cut into the base of the cabinet, just big enough for a toddler to crawl through. Why? So Mom could keep an eye on the baby while cooking. The little one could play safely in the dining room or entryway, but stay close by. No stairs to climb, no sharp corners, just a safe little tunnel. It was a simple idea, born from a time when families were growing and safety was reimagined. As childproofing evolved and open layouts took over, the mother's helper disappeared. But it's a touching reminder of how homes were once shaped around real, daily life. The man cave before it had a name. Long before the term man cave was coined, many 1950s homes had a basement corner or a back room just for Dad, often paneled in dark wood. Lit by a single lamp, it held a recliner, a radio, and maybe a bar cart. This was his sanctuary, a place to read the paper, listen to ball games, or enjoy a quiet drink after work. It wasn't fancy, but it was his. Over time, basements became family rooms or home theaters. But that little corner, where a man could just be, was more than a room. It was piece in a plastic, perfect decade. These homes weren't just built with wood and brick. They were built with dreams. Dreams of comfort, of family, of a simpler life. And while some of these features may seem odd or outdated now, each one tells a story of who we were and how we lived. So the next time you walk through an old house, take a closer look. Behind the walls and under the floors, you might just find a little piece of history and a lot of heart. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, give us a thumbs up, share your favorite 1950s home feature in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We're always digging up the stories of the America we remember. Until next time, keep looking back. The past is full of surprises.